Yep, uncertainty and desperation, really the watchwords there. Franz Hoang is a Vietnamese refugee and a former senior White House staffer in the George W. Bush administration. He also served with US Special Forces in Afghanistan and joins us from Colorado Springs. Franz, thanks very much indeed for joining us. We've heard Saigon mentioned so many times in the last few days. Obviously, the resonance for you is only too obvious. How great a moral imperative do you feel Joe Biden has to bring out as many of these Afghans as possible, those who are clearly desperate to get away?
David, thanks for having me. President Biden has the greatest moral imperative. Myself, my family, 130,000 other Vietnamese allies are here in America because President Ford showed the political fortitude and the willpower to make it a priority to not leave our Vietnamese allies behind when Saigon fell. President Biden has the same imperative today, all the more so because he initially opposed the evacuation of Vietnamese allies such as myself in 1975.
Right. I think he might have changed his position over time on that. I mean, you're talking there about 130,000 people being brought out. I mean, that sounds like an unrealistic figure in this scenario.
It isn't. The evacuation in Saigon occurred, the planning for it occurred within a matter of days. The execution occurred in a matter of weeks. When the willpower is there, when the presidential imperative and resources are provided, the United States can accomplish some amazing things. I know, having served in all three branches of government at some point. Joe Biden, President Biden, has the same resources at his disposal. In fact, he's in a better position. We know more about our Afghan allies than we did about our Vietnamese allies. We have control of the airport. We have the ability to keep forces on the ground. We have the ability, if we wanted to bring our Vietnamese today, latter allies, the Afghan allies, the corollary to the Vietnamese, out if we wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, you're making a very clear point about the need to look after, in particular, those who have cooperated and done so much to help not just the United States, but other international bodies out there as well. We're in a world where Mitch McConnell, the Senate Minority Leader, is saying every terrorist around the world is cheering when they see what's happened in Afghanistan. I mean, do you in any sense accept that there is nonetheless an inevitability that comes with a long period of let's call it occupation, but of involvement in a country like Afghanistan? It does have to come to an end.
Well, I think rational, reasonable people can disagree on whether it should have ended 5 years ago, whether it should end 5 years from now, or whether we should maintain a presence there. But since we chose to end it now, we have a responsibility to end it right and to do right by our allies and to bring them out. We knew this was coming. President Biden's advisors have been told about this inevitability, about the possibility of collapse of the Afghan government, about the persecution, abuse, and death that the Afghan allies that stood by American sons and daughters when we served there defending our homeland. Yeah. There is no excuse for the lack of planning that has occurred.
I've got to ask you one other question, Franz, because you have the most extraordinary biography to bring to the table here. How much do you feel you owe the United States?
I feel I owe them pretty much everything. When I came to the United States, my first home was a GP medium tent on a Marine Corps base. When I grew up in a small town, I learned about my family's history and the Exodus. And that's what led me and so many others, frankly, to decide to serve America. Because as Ronald Reagan once said, anyone can be an American. And now when I served in Afghanistan and I looked into the eyes of the Afghans there fighting for their homelands, and now that the homeland is gone, I feel we have a responsibility to look after their sons and daughters, just like they looked after American sons and daughters when we fought there.
Franz Hoang, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.